Hey guys, my name is Doyle Williams. Everybody just calls me Brother Doyle. I'm the pastor of Tennessee River Baptist Church in Camden, Tennessee. First of all, let me mention why sometimes preachers wear coats and sometimes they don't. I preached for about 5 years at the church where I'm at without wearing a coat and tie. Just wore a polo and did that. But while I was in college, they taught us to preach with a coat on. I mean, if you stood up, you buttoned that button and you did, a certain way when you entered into the pulpit. It's hard to break old habits. So it's not something that's essential. Sometimes it's just something that makes a person feel more comfortable doing what they do. And so that's just, I'll share that just right off the bat so you won't think I'm like every other preacher, because most of my people will tell you real quick, I'm not like every other preacher. But one of the things I would like to mention today, I did a video with James Yeager one time on guns and religion. And one of the things I want us to understand, there are no guns mentioned in the Bible. None whatsoever. And it's not like we can draw a complete justification from Scripture as far as justifying guns. Now, I'm a pro-gun preacher. I believe that we have a right for self-defense. One of the only scriptures that kind of talks about self-defense is Exodus 22:2. It says, if a thief be found breaking breaking in and be smitten that he die, there shall be no blood shed for him. In other words, the one who killed him won't have to be put to death. Now, one of the other examples I think about is when Saul chased David. Nowhere did God say, David, you need to surrender yourself to Saul. He kept David safe. He kept him away from him. Now, there's a lot of scripture that talks about a man who lives by the sword shall die by the sword. But then there's scripture that says, if you have no sword, go and buy one. I believe that any man worth his salt, any person worth their salt, ought to defend their family. And I believe that every person has a right to self-defense. Now, that's my personal opinion. I don't know that I can bear it out in Scripture. Nowhere do we see that David had a concealed sling license, so we don't have any kind of extra verification like that. But I do believe that a man has a right to defend his family. I believe he has a responsibility to defend his family, as well as a woman defending herself or defending her family also. So, just something I wanted to add, just a thought for the day.